What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Washed Up Club podcast. My name is Adam. I'm here with my co-hosts Zac Baldy and Brenny Boost.
Brenny Boost.
Welcome to episode 5.
How
We're
are we
nearing
all?
that episode 7.
Yeah.
We're nearly there, and then
I
we can
realised-
finally quit.
Every episode intro, I wave, and that is only applicable to minimal people.
So we met Dave Egan today from Drift Games.
And it
So,
went
we did.
perfectly.
Went
Well,
perfectly.
Through work. Keep it read. Shout out Keep it read, obviously.
Great.
Massive
but
thanks to Jace
basically-
for bringing him over.
Yeah, but
Very
basically,
much appreciate it.
Zach is very awkward. And apparently he's had 2 conversations with him and he messed them both up. So tell us about that.
Well, before we get to the negative side of it, you hung out with him all day. How was he? He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, it's good.
He's a good bloke.
I got good vibes from him.
He's a sick guy.
It just felt like one of the boys. I just walk in a room, felt like included in the conversation. It was really good.
No, we literally just...
2 thumbs up.
Yeah, we just hung out all day. Got HSPs, went to some dyno stuff, just hung out. They were incredibly tired because they just got off the
48
plane.
Poor
hours.
blokes.
Yeah.
48
So
hours
they
away.
soldiered through it. They did well,
Yeah.
to be fair.
Really go-gettery. Like, I saw content going up from from
the get-go.
They were constantly
Hustling.
filming stuff throughout the day.
It was very
Yeah.
cool. Was some of that stuff from their phone? Because I saw one and I'm like, it doesn't look super like they've had time to put it together. And I'm like, was it phone or did
Most of it was on the phone. He just made
bad,
that
not
little
bad.
reel thing that he made of the factory. Of
Jason's
the
gonna
AU.
love that.
He made that at kebab time, I think.
That's pretty cool,
I think.
actually. I dig that.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I'm glad you guys had a relaxing day with Dave. No, actually, he was a pretty cool guy. This afternoon when I was chatting to him, once you get me chatting about RX-7s, as you guys know, I can keep going on forever. And Dave is a rotary guy himself. He kind of likes them. But at the start of the day, I didn't go so well because I freak out whenever I meet people, especially people that I've watched for years. And I've watched Dave's, once, being with Jimmy and Adam and everyone else as well. I put every one of these guys up on like a pedestal because to me, they're like famous. So I've really wanted to meet this guy for years. And I knew that one day working Keep It Reet, he would come over. And anyway, this morning I said hello. I shook his hand. I was, really nice. Whatever. He wouldn't have remembered many of our names, I could imagine, and just sort of went out to the back and he was all good. But then he went outside and he was filming with Jason. And he went out and he filmed the Starlet, which was pretty cool. He filmed
Full
Adam's
build breakdown.
filmed Adam's rig, and he also filmed my BRZ, which I felt really bad about because I didn't wash it. So I was.
Starlet's never been washed.
So anyway, I like to be presentable, and I like my cars to be nice. And he filmed it for Drift Games, which sucks. And then he came inside, and Jason was pointing us all out in the room. I don't know if you noticed this whatsoever.
didn't.
When he panned in and came into the room, right, he got, okay, this is Jai, this is our video guy. He makes some crazy videos and stuff like that. And this is Brenny. He does like the media stuff, and then he also does merch and stuff like that. And then Dave started talking. He's like, this is kind of how like our media thing goes. Like, we got Jai, and then we got Brenny, and then we got Josh over here, and then we got Adam. And I'm like, I wanted to correct him, but I was in the
I'm
background.
pretty
Zachary.
Zach.
Yeah.
Zachary.
Zach.
Adam and I have something to tell you.
He was
He
talking
has
about his own team.
Staff.
Oh.
Yeah.
He has
I'm so happy. So
he has someone called Adam. He has someone called Josh.
that's too good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I was thinking for the entire day, he called me Josh.
bro, he called me completely someone else. And
Did
and
he
same
really?
with Jai, yeah.
Oh,
no, he was
damn
basically
it.
like, this is how my workplace sits.
Okay, I was way too into this, and I was like, okay, he's done this. He's just called me Josh over here.
You're like, yeah, I'm Josh. And he's like,
Yeah.
fuck, I
No,
feel like I
because
said
he was talking about how like Keep It Read is so similar to what
what he's
Drift
doing.
Games
Yeah.
was when they were growing. I think they're a
Alright.
little bit different now,
Yeah,
but he's
okay.
like, this felt very familiar,
Alright.
which is why he's like, there's like Josh and Adam and all that. but he
All right.
was saying people of his own team.
All right. This entire day, I thought he
It's
called
been
me Josh.
doubled.
All right. Well, not only
I'm
that.
going to send this clip
because
to him.
because I thought I was coming off the fact that I've just been called Josh. I'm like, who the fuck is Josh? I got no clue, right? Anyway, and then he pans around. He's like, yeah, Josh. Okay. Oh, and this streaming setup, and then Jason goes, all right. So Adam here, he's been spending a lot of time with the streaming setup and everything else as well. And we went through the streaming setup, and then Dave goes out and he closes out that clip. I'm like, fuck. I can't tell him my name's actually Zach and what I do at Keep It Reed. I'm just the random guy in the background that when he panned around, I randomly went like this with a big peace sign in the background of his video. So I'm extremely awkward. If we look back at that clip, it's going to
Definitely pulling that clip up.
We're definitely going to pull that clip up.
Enhance.
But
Zach?
I awkwardly laughed at absolutely everything. I gave him a random peace sign whenever he turned the camera around to point at the office.
I noticed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really bad
But
when this thing
to
sort
be
of
fair,
happens.
the whole situation is awkward because, I mean, one, Jason's terrible at introducing people.
He's terrible.
He
Yeah.
doesn't really
I
do
enjoyed
it
this
that
time.
way.
It was much better.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
For me, at least.
But
Yeah.
like we were doing work
Not
and they
for
just
Josh.
like walked in filming. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, cool. But
I'm just like, I'm just trying to do work here. I've come off 3 coffees and I'm like, I'm jittery as fuck and I am terrible with people and I kind of just was in the background just going,
God.
hi.
I
And then
can't believe
that's
I
it.
didn't see it all
Oh,
day
God.
because I did
Yeah.
notice like he'd be filming and I'm just like doing my work. I'm like, oh, he's
Yeah.
filming. Every
Yeah.
single time I looked over at him filming, you're just watching.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was absolutely I've watched this bloke for years and I fucking love everything he does. And it's so cool that he's just there. But it sucks because I want to go up and have a chat to him, but I'm just terrible at it. So that's why when the VL came back, I wanted to make sure that he knew I was actually a human being and not an NPC. And not just some random
So
guy
he
in the
went out
background.
there and was like, my RX-7. You don't understand.
No. We had a decent chat. We had a decent chat.
When I
So,
walked in, it seemed
yeah.
like you two were having a good chat.
Yeah, no, we had a decent chat, and he was looking at Bun, and he was telling me he was
he
looking
needed
at Bun
some
RX-7
help
and-
along. We were standing there and I was like, he started talking about his BRZ. I was like, oh, don't talk about the BRZ. No one cares about it. And I was like, he should have driven in his cool car, his FD RX-7,
Thank
because
you,
during
Adam.
the day,
I appreciate
during the
that.
day, Dave was like, "Oh, I've actually really like got a new interest
Yeah.
in FDs and Evos," is
Yeah.
what he said. And I was
Yeah.
like, "And you start talking about your freaking BRZ again?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna help him."
So
out
anyway,
here."
I've had a rough day.
You know, if
Yeah.
the Sylvia was running, we could have gave him that as the guest car. That would have been pretty cool.
Mm.
Like, it's just cruising
Oh,
around in midday.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
it seems like the car that he got is
It's
like his
pretty
dream
cool.
car.
Yeah, it is
so,
pretty cool, yeah.
He seems pretty around
so that's
it.
pretty cool.
So I wanted to do some fan service, Adam.
Mm.
Some
Tell us
fan
about
service.
the cameras behind you. I see numerous comments about them. We
pretty
want
cool.
the history. We want what one you shot your first skate video on, your first porno on, your first... You don't do a lot now, so that's probably where it stops.
Well, it's a pretty quick story.
Yep.
So from there, this lens back all the way to there are all my granddad's old cameras.
That's
Have you
very
used
cool.
any of them?
No,
They've
no,
just been
I only
your,
just
like,
recently inherited them, pretty much.
I like the boxy ones. I don't know
Yeah,
if
that's
they're
very
like,
cool,
yeah,
isn't it?
They,
Yeah.
they, like
Yeah,
I
they're
couldn't
cool.
even tell if
They're
that's a camera or a video camera, but I like it.
My first, I just hit
Oh.
my
The
first
5D.
camera that was like a
For the
proper
video
camera.
audio listeners, he's holding what looks to
I was
be
going to
an
describe
old-
it. So I had a Nikon before this camera, but this is a Canon 5D Mark II, which is an old boy.
Way better than the Mark 1 though. I know
Sure.
nothing. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm
It
trying to
took,
help.
compact flashes instead of SD cards, so that was a pain in the ass.
These still take half decent photos, don't they?
For photos, yeah. For
yeah.
video, it's pretty trash.
Because these would be what,
But that's-
720p,
That's what I
30 FPS.
used. A trunk boy.
Yeah,
It looks like a camera you give like a little kid now.
Yeah.
Like the toy ones.
Yeah.
It's,
pretty
like,
much.
I mean, like back
obscenely
in
big.
the day when that was released, that was like top
The
tier.
pinnacle. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy how that stuff goes.
yeah. I remember when I had my first camera was a 60D, and people were down at the skate park with like 5D Mark IIs, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's a freaking millionaire. Yeah, no, without a doubt, like that was. I would have thought Adam was like top tier. I wouldn't have spoken to him.
Yeah. You've been like,
Yeah, you would have been so
Oh my
starstruck.
god, is it a 5D Mark
My scooter has wheels.
So my BRZ.
I got
My BRZ.
I have a much cooler scooter at home, bro. Like, just chill. This isn't my first scooter. Jesus Christ.
Can't believe you're more awkward than me around people.
I hate it. I hate it so much. No, the first time I met Adam LZ, I didn't talk to him. I went straight up to him, and it was.
Here's the name dropping.
Yeah.
Name dropping of the episode.
he went to Luke Fink's event, and I was 6,000 subs at the time, and I really wanted to meet him. And I waited at his last event at the end of the line. Poor bloke. It was like midnight. And this bloke had his third event in that week. Jet lagged as hell. You could tell he was tired as fuck. I went up to him, and I'm just like, could you sign my car? That's all I said. and then I turned around and got a photo. And then he's like, okay, bring your car over, bro. And that was it. That was the entire conversation.
Did he sign it?
He did.
Where?
On the rocker cover. It was his
What
first
car?
ever
What car?
Barra that he saw, the
The
Falcon.
turbo?
Yeah.
Did you sell it with that cover? Or do
No,
you
I
have it
sold
on
the
your
cover.
wall? Oh, wow.
Wow.
Stayed there to all the way till 12 so Zach could make a quick buck off
Yeah.
him. A quick buckaroonie.
Wow.
I had the cover on my wall for I think 2 years, and then when we moved, I had to get rid of it because Sarah asked me, "Why are we taking a Barra rocker cover down to Victoria?"
That's when you go,
Has
because
meaning.
it has meaning. That's
To me.
I still know who has it, so I can buy it back if I probably offer him more than he paid for it. So
You sell
Big
stuff
fan.
so easily.
Yeah, you sound
do.
like you're like, oh yeah, but do I really need a kid? just terrible. Yeah.
to me, I hate children. I'd sell a kid. I'd sell my kid first, straight up. Sorry, what we were talking about before? I've rudely interrupted again. Sorry.
We were speaking about
cameras. That's right.
I've seen a few comments about it. I actually wanted to bring up Hurt. Hurt was a trooper at our signing session we did.
Yeah, I really liked her.
He was going into that later point of the night, and I could tell like I was going to get him water and stuff. That's what I do at events. Is I assist the non-track stuff. And yeah, I was just trying to look after him, and I even like went down the. I'm like, oh, when do you want me to stop the people lining up? He's like, no, I'll do them all. So I went to the end of the line to put like a bollard, so no more people lined up. So many people tried to sneak in right in front of me. Like, what do you think, you're invisible? Like 5 of them tried to sneak in front of me. I'm like, the lines. What do you think the bollard at the end meant, mate? Anyway, maybe I was more angry than her, but I could tell like from his tone, he was a bit more like
He was destroyed by the end of that.
yeah,
night.
yeah,
He
exactly.
was
And so
wrecked.
like when I went down to the end of the line to put the bollard, I was like, he's had a really long day. He's happy to
Well, he
get up to you
had-
guys, but just keep that in mind.
He'd
You kind of
flown in
sound
from
like
the
the
US.
people from Santa.
Yeah,
Santa's had a long day. He needs to get back to the North Pole to make presents.
He'd
Sorry.
flown in
Santa
from
doesn't
there.
make the presents, idiot.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. My bad.
No wonder he can't have kids. You just ruined the image of Santa.
I'm so sorry. Continue, Adam. Sorry.
No, nah.
Did your family do Santa or the Easter Bunny?
Yeah, 100%.
My-
What do you
Back
mean?
in the day, yeah.
My mum used to love it, and she'd get I have no clue what she did, but she'd like sprinkle like powder on the floor of and little footprints.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and my mum was super crafty. Like she'd paint everything Pokemon-y or whatever I was themed into at the time. Anyway, I distinctively remember this story where I was getting a bit older, like to the point where I'm not believing these. My dad noticed that my mum hadn't flipped the foot, so my dad walks in. He's like, "Oh, Santa has 2 left feet," and that's just like burnt into my head as like a childhood memory.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah,
That's brilliant.
I was always told like Santa's real, by the way. Like, believe in it as long as you can because you get extra presents. And so I'm like 19 years old. What
So
did
anyway,
Santa get me?
he's 27.
Yeah. Wait, 29, mate.
No. I mean, as in we only found out 3 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah. I still go get the photo every year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
It's
nice.
a bit creepy.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Back on the Hurt topic. Anyway,
That's how we got that. Yeah.
he it was a lot of dedication from him on that Friday night drifts. So he had flown in from the US on the Thursday. He landed midday Thursday.
Bloody hell.
Filmed with us all afternoon, and then was at Calder Park at about like 8 in the morning.
Yeah, he was like helping me set up.
Yeah, he was helping set up. Then he got into 32. He was live streaming, broke the gearbox straight away. But then he met like hundreds of people.
Yeah.
And
it would be like, I reckon close to 1,000. It would like he was there all
There was
day.
3,000 people at
Yeah.
that event, wasn't there?
yeah, it was hectic. So he definitely put in the work. Definitely.
Yeah. They all seem like they do. Like, you know, like Dave exactly the same, like straight into comes to work and like straight hustling.
Yeah, exactly right.
I woke up, I haven't been having coffees in the morning and I'm like, oh, I need more. So I can only imagine him, you know.
Do you, Brenny, get weird around celebrities, I guess? Well,
it's-
more famous people.
It would be more YouTubers to me. Like it's I've met a lot of YouTubers. I know Zach's keen to list off he's got a scroll.
They're all in my contact list.
It's all my contacts. Tiniest little scroll bar.
I don't mean to do that. I've met them before. I tried my best.
Every story. When I was hanging out with.
When I was hanging out with Adam LZ.
No, so
just joking.
as you guys know, and the viewers probably do not, I worked for Misfits. During working through Misfits, we had a lot of, you know, other very popular YouTubers come past. I am itching my eye. And, yeah, and also I went to a lot of gaming conventions and met a lot of my peers, which some of were way bigger than me. And I'm just like, but it never really, like, I heard it's the first person where I've been, like, excited to the point where I'm nervous. Like other people, it's more like I don't need to meet them. I just want to, like, hang out near them, you know? Whereas her, I was like, I want to, like, actively chat with this person. And Dave's the same. And that's why I'm so surprised that we're best buddies. And I just call him Dave now.
You're on a first name basis.
Yeah. No,
it's mate and Dave.
Yeah,
like
I
that,
felt
yeah.
really, you know, just chill around him. And like I said, it just felt like one of the boys. But there are definitely those people where I'm like, oh, I really like I think Adam LZ would probably be on that list. I'd love to like pick his brain about all the YouTube stuff and, you know, what it's been like, the journey.
Is there someone you'd get like starstruck by?
Starstruck.
Like Zach here with literally anyone.
With
Literally.
anyone. I'm literally sitting here with Adam Reed. Don't fuck this up.
He gets starstruck by himself. I'm Zac
Yeah.
Baldy.
I was going to say, none of his story, he doesn't seem nervous around us for some reason.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, what the hell?
I didn't realize
Explain that.
I didn't realize you were Brony Beast when I first started.
Yeah, no, I can't think of someone off the top of my head. If you want to
Yeah.
give me yours, I'll ponder it.
Look, I never really, because I hadn't really experienced anyone that was like quote unquote famous or whatever until I started working at Keep It Read. And then when I meet them, it's just normal. It's good to talk to them. Like, I just find it interesting. I like all the behind the scenes sort of stuff, like just talking to them about like how things work and like how they do it.
I'm always
So
hesitant.
I am very grateful for the days like I had today with Dave and Blaine was the other guy's name. Because it is very chill those days. It's not like the rushed 5-minute chat or something that you can get.
Well, I think that's the good environment with it. We get to hang out with them in a work environment, so there's not that like standing at a thing like a booth to sign something. Then it's there to have a quick like 4 words, which Zach gave 1 word. Sign. You know, whereas like we get to just like hang out and like you get a natural back and forth, which is really good. I do agree.
But I don't really think that there is anyone that I'll get nervous about now that I've like when I think about it, there's not really anyone that I would be like set back by. Like if say if Adam LZ came over or something like that, I would just talk to him. But I feel like there's already a barrier down because I work at Keep It Read. So it's just like
You know
I'm
what?
just
Yeah,
one
that's
of-
fair.
just one of the
I'll go
guys.
celebrity. I would love to meet The Rock, and I think I would dead set be uncomfortably nervous.
Could you imagine
around
you
him.
standing next to the Rock?
Standing next to him? I'm at like knee height to him from the looks.
You
of
take
it.
a photo of his torso up and Brenny's not
It's
even
the
in
top
it.
of my head, like he's way. I thinking about it. There's probably a few celebs. Purely just because I watched them my whole life and like I love like Jack Black, and there's a few that you see on like Instagram and like they just seem so personable and genuine, like like what's the correct word?
Genuine.
Genuine. That's the one. I didn't fully try to say it this time though. Doesn't count.
Nearly called them all generic.
Yeah, just generic copy paste celebrities. No, yeah, I definitely think there's a few celebrities that I really idolize at least what they put on social media. I'm sure they're not like that all the time, but there's some that I just think are cool blokes and would like to meet, and I probably would be nervous.
Yeah, I agree.
But if it was a work environment, I think that would change the dynamic.
Yeah, because maybe I would be different in a non-work environment. I don't know.
How about you, Zachary? I know you've wanted to go through the list.
Well, first of all, I just want to add that, like, I feel like when I was talking to Dave today, I had to like make it a thing that I was talking to him because I didn't have a reason to be talking to him at that point. Like you were out filming with him and you were giving him merch and I was uploading a video for Keep It Reed. So it was kind of like when I spoke to him, it was kind of like, okay, I had to push myself in my personality and go like, hey, I don't know what I'm trying to say right now, but yeah, you kind of get me.
I get it.
I guess, yeah. So I guess that's been how I've met everyone. But through YouTube, I have a little bit of a list. So Samet was really cool. Samet I met through. He went to the Adam LZ event at the same time, and Samet had about 40,000 subs.
Event?
So yeah, it was the Luke Fink Drift event that he had Adam LZ over for.
Okay.
So yeah,
was that the one that Mike Lake was also at?
Yeah, I didn't know who Mike Lake was at the time.
Because I'm
yeah.
so popular.
Yeah. So Samet had 40k subs at the time, and I had 6,000. And I saw him at the first event. I knew I was going to go to the Tuesday and the I know when we were small. Yeah. Samet was about the size that I am now when I first met him. But yeah, I told all my Instagram fans to go and follow him and comment on his latest post, and that's how I got a ride in his car the next drift event, because I'm like, go hashtag Zac Baldy collab on his Instagram post, and he sent me a message, and turns out we're now friends, and now I've been over to Japan with him. And Samet, I feel like if he ever came back to Australia, I'd just run up and give him a big hug, because I feel like he's pretty cool. And then through Sam, I met Okachan. I've met Adam. You guys will know that story. Dave met today, and then randomly when we went to the YouTuber meetup, I watch a little bit of Full Boost every now and then. I randomly met both the blokes from Full Boost, which was pretty cool.
I don't know what they look like. I've watched a lot of Full Boost, but I could not tell you what those blokes look like.
I mean, they were pretty easy to talk to because we were all YouTubers there and stuff like that. But Street Machine Scotty, he's a pretty big channel now with the Barra
that's
MX5.
Not Scotty. Oh, that's an interesting build.
Yeah, it was very cool. And then these are the interesting ones. So I met Scott from Haltech as well, which is pretty cool.
I wanted to bring him up at World Time Attack because when you said Scotty, that's what I thought you were speaking about.
Yeah,
I'm getting a curly fry thing, the potato on a stick thing or something. So I'm waiting for it, and he's just standing there. I'm like, swear that's the guy, the tuner guy. And then he's like, that barrel wags is so sick. And I'm like, and I just walked away. That was my, not even interaction, just being a person with a stick of potato.
Was this the last World Time Attack gone, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
it would have been. Yeah.
I've only been to one.
Oh, there you go.
I would definitely be keen to go to another one. That was a cool vibe.
Yeah.
It was really crew welcoming. I was very fresh to the working at Keep It Reed.
So you would have got the whole experience.
Definitely made me, feel a bit more like a member of the team.
Yep.
Also didn't have to sleep on a couch like Adam.
Yeah,
that would have sucked. Oh well.
It was average.
Yeah, I met Scotty from Haltech, and I met him through one of my friends. Randomly saw him at one of these end of month meet at Sydney when I had my Falcon down there. I wasn't even a YouTuber at this point, but I'd seen him on Mighty Car Mod. So one of my friends, Jacob, went up and spoke to him. I was next to Jacob, didn't say a word. I did. I said hello and I shook his hand, but once again, very awkwardly.
Did you start talking about your BRZ or something?
I will fully agree with Zachary. I do the same thing. Yeah. If I want to make the effort, it can be there.
Yeah.
But there's just points where I'm like, I don't really care to meet this person. I'll just watch the It's like I'm stepped back from the conversation.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Maybe you did want to have a chat when they bring something up, then you should. But
No, I'm 100%
You're not
with
that
it.
bad. You're not that bad.
I do my best.
We'll see with future guests.
Yeah.
We get a super popular YouTuber as a host. What's here? Guest,
Guessed.
yes.
Yeah.
And Zachary's like,
That could become
Zach just talks about
that
his
could
BRZ
become
the whole podcast.
a YouTube thing every single time Keep It Reed gets a guest. No one tells me who it is, and then they just walk in the door and it's like a Zach's reactions
Yeah,
and tries to
except
talk.
we have to do all the marketing for them and stuff.
Oh yeah, except I'm literally the marketing guy. Yeah, aside from that, yeah. But yeah, I've also met Marty from MCM. Once again, another horrible story. I was actually leaving from the MCM event, and he was riding around on the
burnout and got kicked out.
Well, no, he was riding around on the mini compo and stuff like that. And so he was actually chatting to a bunch of guys over here. And I stopped while I was driving out and I randomly saw him out the corner of my eye and I stopped. And I'm like, oh my God, Marty. And he looked around and just stared at me. I'm like, fuck, now what do I say? And I was like,
what is? I've changed my mind.
and so this is when I was 18.
You couldn't have done it. Oh, hey, mate.
No, I didn't. 'Cause
Love
he
your
wouldn't
content.
have seen me. I was stopped there and I freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, Marty.
And then you
he
did this.
just stared at me. And I just
did a peace sign. My name's
I literally just said, I went at him and I said, can I have a photo? And he's like, yeah, okay. It rode around to me. And then because I was fumbling with my camera and stuff like that, I put my camera up to take a photo and he was outside my door. So anyway, I got my camera out, my little iPhone 5 at the time. It was a really bright day and my tint's really dark. So anyway, I got a photo and he's like, you sure you don't want me to take the photo, man? I'm like, no, it's all right. It's all right. Just smile. It's all good. Anyway, I didn't actually say that, but I'm trying to emphasize the awkwardness of the story.
Yeah.
And I just said, no, it's
Lord.
all right, man. And I took the photo, but I exposed it on myself and not Marty.
Oh,
Marty
no.
is completely blown out of this photo. It's just a photo of me smiling with a white window.
I met a ghost today.
I think that's most of the people. So yeah, Marty, Dave Egan, and I met Adam LZ and all these other guys, and yeah. But if there's someone that I know that I've watched and I really like their content, for me they're like a famous person in a way, and I freak out because I have no input towards what they do. But
there's a fine line between like celebrities and YouTubers now.
Yeah.
Like for me, there's a lot more YouTubers I'd be more keen on meeting than
I agree.
traditional celebrities because
I don't think there's a celebrity that I think I'd be worried about meeting. Like if it was like regular celebrity.
not someone you've watched a lot of.
Not-
Jeremy Clarkson.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, see?
Actually, that's a very
Like
tough
every
one.
2 seconds and
Yeah.
I think of one for it.
Well, yeah, I don't
Can't
know.
shut up about him.
Yeah.
Last night on Clarkson's farm.
Oh, dude, we have to talk about Clarkson's
That is-
farm.
yeah.
That is definitely a thing that we have to do. I feel like they would be good to meet. I don't feel like I'd be like I could have a genuine conversation with them. I just don't feel like I would give them any input whatsoever. I feel like I'd just be listening to them. I want them to talk.
I don't think that I ever really want to meet anyone as like a meet and greet. Or if I see them on the street, do what you did to Marty.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I ever want to do that. I don't have any interest
I'd do
in
what
doing
he
that.
did. If I saw Marty and Moog vibe and I'm like, oh hey lads, love the content.
Oh yeah, if I saw
Can
them
I
out
get a photo?
if I saw them out and about, I'd love to go up and just randomly. But it was at their event, and I'd be worried about doing that.
Actually, yeah. Back in the good old days when Brenny had his Supra, got it on the road 2 days before, had my license 8 days before, and I go to one of their car meets, and everyone crowds around the P-Plater and the Supra, and I really ruined reverse parking. I did like 9 to get in there. That was pretty embarrassing, but I don't know. I'm pretty good at blowing things off like that. So.
That's good.
Yeah, just got my license. Of course I can't reverse this car. I've only driven 4 times.
I love that.
I think I have a big interest in having actual conversations with, I guess they're influencers, YouTubers, and stuff like that. Because I find that very interesting, just like more about where they came from and what they, like how they work everything. It's very interesting to me.
That's a really hard thing because like that's what.
Like that's something that I get lucky with Keep It Reed, that I have the time.
Yeah, you get a
that.
little bit of a snippet, but I think it's really hard because you're walking a fine line between just being that other person that's like, oh, so how does the YouTube going? How's this? How's that? Like, whereas like they probably get that all the time. I'd love to, be personal, and that's what you got today. Is you got to cruise around
I guess
and
it's a
actually
little
get
bit
that.
different being in that same situation as well, because you could just be any Joe Blow that comes up and has like, I got 100 followers on Instagram, and ask him about how's YouTube going, versus us running our own channels in the Keep It Real channel.
Ask a lot more specific questions.
Yeah, exactly right.
No, that's
We talk
fair.
about CPM.
Don't-
Randoms don't know about CPM.
They just think $1 million.
Million
No, we were
$1
million
talking
an episode.
today about how much it all fluctuates so much,
Mm-hmm.
and just how it's always the videos that we hate that go really well. Because they recently put up like really long like wrap up videos. They had like 2 episodes. One was an hour and a half. One was 2.5
It's
hours.
the yearly wrap up, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's been going like crazy. And he said when they put that up that they were like, it's gonna tank. It's gonna be shit.
Well, a lot of people's do, don't they? It's pretty.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe
I
they just
I
killed
haven't
it with the editing.
watched it. I'm sure it would be sick though.
It's I am the wrong consumer of YouTube. I watch all the videos that don't go well. I love drift days. I love track days. I love watching people learn. I hate highlight videos. I don't get any of the personable stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like highlight videos because it's just like, say if it's a funny, like meant to be funny one or something, you don't have any of the context or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah,
It's like our crap content. Like really.
rude.
Just kidding. You guys have been killing it with the reels.
Oh, we do our
They've
best.
been going well. We went viral.
We did go
Yeah,
viral.
that's something that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Is how that all came around.
How many
So
of you
it
guys
wasn't-
out there?
It wasn't
Came
wasn't
from that.
like proper viral.
It
For the
was-
size of what we were on TikTok, yes, it is viral. We had 40 followers at the start of the day. We had about 700 by the end of the day.
Yeah.
We had a video
That's
that's
pretty
on
good.
like 80,000 views
Yeah.
on TikTok.
Around that.
But basically, this video had been uploaded, and it had been up for maybe 3 or 4 days. It had hit like 1,000 views, and that's pretty much
And
where
we're,
it
pre-
had
we're
stopped.
pretty happy
We're
with
pretty
that.
happy with that. Yeah,
That was
we
like
were
one of the
stoked.
better performing ones. You know, we had 40 followers on TikTok. We literally just started. Then just out of nowhere, it's just
Yeah, I think the
we
first.
looked at. I looked at it
Yeah.
the TikTok in the morning. It still had 1,000 views. Looked at it after work, and then it was on 30.
Yeah, you
1,000
guys
views.
checked out the TikTok comments recently?
No, I haven't
I've been
actually.
on the grind. Everyone trash talking. Brenny's, what the hell? This is Brenny. And I'm like, nah, mate. Like trying to like just say it's not me. He'll come back. I
If you
watched
see
the
people
video.
arguing on TikTok, can you please, if
I
you're
tried-
listening to this
I
right
saw
now,
you do that.
Oh yeah, 100%. You got to keep them going because that's more attention. I was like trying to start fights in the comments.
Yeah.
It's great. It's good fun.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Basically, it was a TikTok where I talked about auto versus manual four-wheel
Yeah.
drives and said how auto is so much better. But it's good because, as normal TikToks are, it's blown way out of context as well. So I said autos are so much better for what I do, which is touring and with a bit of four-wheel driving.
I feel like we're starting to make a new clip right now. It's
yeah,
like,
because I want to
Actually,
talk about it because
autos
we've
are
already
better.
talked about
This
these
whole
comments,
Yeah.
but we're going to talk about it on the podcast.
Mhm.
How can you not reach the full potential of a manual? That doesn't make. I got told in the comments that I just can't reach the full
Ooh,
potential of a
Autos
manual.
do everything better.
I would like to
Everything
get the
better.
comments up and question some of these.
Has anyone seen me drive the Troopy? That car was driven beyond its potential,
Mate,
and
you
it was
only drive
manual.
an automatic because you can't drive manual.
91,000.
Yeah, oh,
91?
91,000, there you go.
Yeah, we're almost
But
100K.
yeah, apparently I don't know how to drive a manual car. I just don't
because
get it all
of
right.
the 10-second video you put up on
Yeah,
TikTok,
yeah, that was blown
automatically
way out
you
of
have
context.
no clue how to drive a manual car.
It's a good time. I've read through most of the
A
comments.
good quality auto with Triptronic setup beats manual by a country mile. I just really enjoyed the country mile
The
bit,
country
honestly.
mile.
Like just the kind of like that banter.
But yeah, I was talking about how I love it so much because when I'm away for a long period of time, the last thing I want to do is be changing gears every bloody 2 seconds, trying to eat whilst I'm on the road because that happens a lot, and you've got to change gears and stuff. And then how much I prefer it when I'm full driving because it's so much more relaxing.
You know what?
Rather than going, oh, I gotta smash gears and try and get up the hill, I can just put my foot down and it's
I got
alright.
one for you. Ever heard of reduction gears?
Yes,
I don't fully know what that is. Is that like changing your gear ratio?
pretty much inside your
For
transfer
your
case.
Okay, for your auto is that a thing you do for manual?
You can do it for both.
Okay.
So autos can have reduction gears. It basically just means you go slower,
Yeah.
so you can crawl better.
Does
That's
that
what
make
it is.
driving your vehicle trash? Because I first saw I've been,
No, it's only when you're in like
Four-wheel drive mode.
Yeah, four-wheel drive.
Okay, yeah. Because I, as someone not experienced in this realm, read that and thought, yeah, but isn't that like
Manual
taking
and
your
auto?
drift car out on the on the street and just having a really impractical car? Like.
Well, some people like re-gear their whole cars when they run big tires and stuff, so then it
Yeah.
drives better and all that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
that's cool. I like
There's
that.
a whole science to it all that I don't know, but I never needed to do it either.
Yeah, I've
So-
seen you do math. It's not very.
You got any more of those comments?
I put 'em
Yeah,
away.
go on, hit me with
'Cause
more of those
okay,
comments
I love
because there was a
that-
few in there that were
I
trying to
love
catch
that
me
how
out,
You're
and
talking about
and
auto
I-
versus manual, and this guy's just going, "Have you heard of reduction gears?" Does
Is that effing Brenny Beast?
yes,
Wow.
yes, it is.
It's not. It comes down to skill. I would like to hear your opinion of that.
Makes no sense.
It comes down to skill.
What skill is there?
I don't fully know.
This TikToker that we don't know has said it comes down to that, so it's true.
Theo Nell.
Bro, you just dump the clutch so much better than I dump the clutch.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean skill? Like, it's different. Yes, it's different driving a manual to auto. There's different skills for auto and for manual. Yes, but it's not. I wouldn't really call it skills. I just call it adapting to the car that you're driving. Because, but like
I like this
I had a manual four-wheel drive for 4 years.
No, you wouldn't know.
I know what it's like.
It sucks that
You-
you've just forgotten how to
You
drive
have
manual.
been
That
called
sucks.
the telling comment in there was manuals are hard work. It shows how soft these lads have become.
Yeah,
Cop that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just loved it when I was cruising down the coast of South Australia. I would love it if I had to change gears every time because
Exactly
you're
right.
in between two gears when I could just sit there and listen to tunes and look at the scenes.
Exactly. I love
scenery.
how because of you, we've been dragged into this too.
Yeah.
Because how many
Oh.
auto cars do you drive, Barry?
I love it. I absolutely love. I'm in there like actually my reduction gears. Don't know what I'm speaking about. It's good.
Just because Adam said that he drives an automatic four-wheel drive, all of a sudden we're both pussies because of it, because of this TikToker. That sucks.
Honestly, there's just so many. I don't want to bring the.
There was, I
negativity.
specifically remember one in there about the cost of having an auto compared to a manual.
Oh, didn't he say you had to like change the clutches every now
It's
and then?
it's
or
the
something
maintenance of
along those
autos that cost so much more than manuals.
What?
lines?
There was
Yeah.
something about the cost of autos
I
compared
didn't
to
see that
manuals
one,
in there.
but
Like
that's-
not buying one, maintaining one.
Is there really? Because I've always thought auto is easier. You service it every now and then.
So much easier. I had to do like a clutch every year in the Troopy because I was driving it pretty hard.
Because
you got no skill.
every year. Some of those comments do it every week. And it's how soft you are.
A clutch in the manual nearly every year. I also had that manual. The synchros went out. I had to get a full refresh manual, which cost $4,000.
Really? You just crunch into gear, mate.
No, it wouldn't get out of fifth.
Oh, the Starlet has a bit of that. I'm in second gear and I'm like, all right, third. Get out.
It wouldn't get out of fifth, and this is before it was turboed, so it was really slow.
Yeah, right.
With the auto, you replace the fluid and change the filter, and it's fine.
Sounding a bit soft.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
Let me.
These young guys today, I swear to God. That's crazy. That's hilarious.
So
I think that there's just like, yes, I have an old auto. It's definitely not as good as new autos. Nowhere near.
Do people convert like an auto? That always boggled me.
Yeah,
Like,
people. So there's.
Would you put a newer auto in an older car, and how
Yeah,
much
well,
of a pain in the
I don't-
ass would that be?
I don't really know how that would work with my motor. Like, if you were putting a different motor in, then it would be easier.
Because manual's so easy. You just like, nah, the car's in neutral, mate, and then you just set it up.
Or you're physically putting it in neutral. instead of-
Since we are on this topic of comments and people in our realms, I thought it would be a fun game to stereotype our field of
Our field?
interest. Yeah.
yeah,
For example, drifters are the biggest tight asses. They will spend
You've just pissed off so many
thousands of dollars on tires but haggle for like a $15 tie rod end. And I am allowed to say this because I have done that. I will cut corners in the dumbest ways in the past with safety. Don't recommend. But they're good blokes. They're good gals. They will always help you out. There is such in the pits of a casual drift day, competition's a bit interesting. You'll see you see a bit of rivalry, but then you also see people helping each other out, and you're like I've seen people lend the car to the person that they're like going to be battling next, and that blows my mind.
Lending the car is crazy.
Yeah, I could like the idea of many moons ago at a Vic Drift event, there was a guy called Proz, Michael Proz, I think. You've probably heard him be mentioned around work once or twice, but yeah, he had a S13. He binned it. He borrowed someone else's car, binned it. Someone else lent him a car and he binned it. And I watched that happen, and I can't recall the outcome. All I remember is like he binned 2 other people's cars, and that's outrageous.
When it comes down to that, like, is he paying to fix those cars?
I don't know. It's because in a lot of the points, it's like, oh, can I borrow your car? Like, there's no pre-discussion. Someone was like, can you borrow my car? I'm going to be like, if you break the engine, if you crash it, you have to fix it. You know,
Please
like,
sign this waiver.
Yeah, there would literally be like paperwork. But yeah, I thought, that's drifters. They'll go a mile for you. Yeah. We also will put everything on the back burner, eating healthily, sleeping healthily, which I'm sure will come up in all of us, just to get a car ready. That we had months to get ready, but the event's this weekend, so we really need to start hustling now because we've entered the event before, you know, having the car ready. Forbies, go.
Oh, God. Like a generic thing that everyone does.
Yeah, stereotype it. Have a bit of fun.
Stereotype.
People take it serious. They're being a bit soft, unlike the old days.
Unlike the manual drivers.
Yeah,
manuals are so much better. Oh, God, I don't know. I don't know what the biggest one is, but definitely one that is all 4 drivers. They can't wire for shit.
Oh,
I can't wire for shit either,
but you'll give it a shot.
Yeah, they'll always give it a shot.
That's the reason.
Don't spend money on auto elects and everything. Yeah. And then they just wonder why their batteries die all the time.
Oh, bro, you nailed that. You did so good. $3,000 rooftop tent. $50 for an auto elect.
Don't know. You can't see that.
Yeah.
So until it gets really bad and you can see it.
That's too good. When I was a mechanic, so much I'd be like, I'll disconnect this car's battery because maybe I'm taking the steering wheel off, airbags and whatnot, and I'm disconnecting like 19 relays. There's a battery over there, and I'm like, is that always? I'm just, and the problem is like you said, it's a lot of like, yeah, I'll tack that on, I'll tack that on, I'll tack that on.
It is normally, I mean, the same as like drifting events and stuff. It's normally like the pre-day or pre-night before a weekend away or something. You're like, oh no, I'll just throw this in and I'll fix it later. Never gets fixed.
Yeah,
it's like, well, it's working, so why would I fix it?
The amount of cars I've been like. And some of them dog ya. Some of them are using the black wires for positives.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
100%.
So I'm like, I would just be like, handful of spaghetti, tape it up. All right, that's positive. Handful of negative.
I'm definitely guilty for some terrible wiring.
Oh, you're a dog. You're a dog.
Some terrible wiring. Definitely guilty.
Zachary, I wanted to hear yours because I kind of assumed what Adam's would be like, but he did come up with a good one.
Interesting.
You've been a part of grip racing for a little while now.
Well, yeah, I've done some stuff with the WXUpClub, which is pretty cool. I feel like everyone's pretty inviting in that whole scene. One of the things I found out very quickly is not a lot of people dodgy stuff, especially grip racing, because
well, I feel like you're going so fast that you don't really want to.
Exactly right. Like you get cheap tires and they won't grip and they'll slide out and it will just be unsafe in general. And if you don't do coilovers up or do something on those lines, and it's just going to be uneven on track and it'll feel weird and wishy-washy and it just wouldn't be fun. Like, so many people are out there to try and help you and all that sort of stuff, and you really want to go out there, and because it's not like drifting where every single lap is different. You'll take a completely different line every lap. Grip racing is like you are within the same meter of the track basically the entire lap. and you just try and
realistically, if you're good at drifting, you should be
Yeah.
also
yeah.
doing it.
well, that's it. Yeah.
Zach's mastered it.
Well, yeah, no, like grip racing, it's very easy to get the same line. It just depends on how sort of fast you want to go, and if you want to try and change up your line to go faster. But you notice inconsistencies in your car very quickly. Like the last track day, I found out, my brake pads were fading during the day, and I had to brake 20 meters earlier than I was before to try and make the same corner.
Yeah.
And so I found there's things about my car already that like, okay, my brakes were already good, but they could be better. So I go and try and fix that. And I feel like a lot of the grip racing
complete
guys
polar
are.
opposites drifters.
Yeah.
Literally take a
Yeah.
drifter and just switch everything that they do.
Yeah.
Drifters will see these problems from a day and then buy a bigger turbo.
It's
Well,
cool.
yeah. Well, I guess I don't know. I kind of have a little bit of drift in me, I guess, because I mean, at the moment, I'm looking at buying a new RX-7 exhaust for my car at the moment because it's a little bit loud, but then it still overheats on hot days. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
We've
but
been hearing that all.
Yeah.
Oh, this and that, and I'm
I
like,
might drive the RX-7 tomorrow, Zach. It's going to be 20 degrees. You can't drive the
it's like,
RX-7.
oh fuck, can't do that. I would love to drive it to work, but it's just there's too much traffic on the way. It sucks.
I had a topic regarding that, I believe.
I want to talk about how you spent a lot of money on an expensive radiator and cooling setup
I think it was around that.
and then took it for a drive and it didn't fix it. And I find it really funny.
Did we speak about this on the last podcast?
Oh,
or?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
We've just
We
done
spoke
so
about
many.
it at work.
We
We've
spoke
done so
about it at
many
work. Okay,
podcasts.
right, all right. So I guess, yeah. So to finish up the grip thing, I feel like, I feel like grip drivers, they're really nice and really friendly.
You're such
There
an
is-
ass kiss. You haven't said anything negative yet.
Yeah,
Well,
go on,
yeah,
say something bad.
I'll
So-
say some negative things about them.
I don't know.
They drive BRZs.
No, I got it. They'll always tell you what they need to do to get a faster time.
Yes,
True.
actually, I agree.
You ask
yeah.
them about or their technique. Like I had this guy come up to me, he's
it's the
telling me
setup of
how
the
he's
car.
left foot braking to boost throughout the corner. I'm like, shut up, mate. Like you wouldn't give me a lap time, but you're telling me.
Sounds like very nerdy sort of thing. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
like small things is what they focus on. Whereas drifters
Yeah.
like, I hit the corner really
Yeah.
hard.
I thought the wheel was going to fold under the car. Didn't. No. So this guy's telling me, and there is a chance he's watching. I guarantee it. No hard feelings. But he's telling me about how he's left foot braking in his Subaru to keep the boost up while going through a mountain run. And I'm like, mate, you're doing a mountain run. Like, how you're on a public road. Like, how fast do you
Yeah.
think you're going to go?
I don't like people that tell me about
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. I just go like, don't tell me that and just go
Yeah.
enjoy it yourself. Like,
Yeah.
Oh man, mountain roads are just like they're an 80% road, and
Yeah,
you don't go on
You
the
wind
yeah.
it, you zoom it. Like
Yeah.
us going to Adam's house to film the potty. you
No, that
know?
was 100%. I needed to get here.
Yeah,
No.
no, you couldn't keep up with me.
Couldn't keep up with
He-
me, mate. I
he
was so
gassed
far
the
ahead of you
stars.
guys.
Yeah, actually, I'm not just quickly. I want to talk about that. We both pulled out of that traffic light as quick as we possibly can to try and get to that straight road. I 100% foot flat to the floor, and I didn't go as fast as what I wanted to compared to your Starlet.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't foot to the floor either.
You weren't?
We came through the corner,
Yeah.
and then I started seeing you pull away, and I'm like, oh, I'll go foot to the floor too then. And I wasn't sure you were foot to the floor because I'm like,
I
he's
was
not
foot-
really getting away
I
from me
was
very
foot flat.
fast.
I was foot flat to the
Oh,
floor.
That's
God.
too good.
Yeah, the Starlet's got some go about it.
Did you purposely
doesn't.
go wide on the corner? Like I'm gonna bloody T-bone you off the road.
No.
Like I'm gonna, but nah, Zach will get out of my way.
I was
not
waiting
gonna
for the
brake.
Starlet to
I'm left foot
understeer,
braking.
No. Yeah, I was just building up the boost.
Yeah.
I guess we can go on to the RX-7. The RX-7. So yeah, I got a PWR radiator. I spent $850 on this cooling setup, so I could have AC, which was going to be a further $150 thing. So I'm already like $1,000 sort of deep into this RX-7 just so I can get AC, and hopefully Sarah might actually want to come in the car.
Not likely.
Still not likely because it's an RX-7. So anyway, I went to Black Label and car was still getting hot, and I don't know how or why, but it was just when it was sitting still on the highway, it was flawless. Sitting still, it was still getting hot. There was no airflow, no nothing. Found out I didn't do a lineup. Typical Zach.
Yep.
You know, just doing his own mechanics stuff.
Yep.
He's distracted.
Lost a
midway,
little bit of
guarantee it.
coolant, like 50 mil maybe. So it wasn't enough to put
How
airlocks in the
embarrassing!
system and
Go
stuff.
to a high-class car meet with all these immaculate builds and leave your little coolant pissy puddles everywhere. Disgusting.
Anyway, I took it back home, and this is actually there's a silver lining at the end of this story as well. So anyway, I ended up getting back home, and I fixed the lineup at the event. Getting back home, I rebled the coolant system, but I put the heater on this time as well because I think I forgot last time. I didn't actually realize that the heaters actually have a like a trap door almost.
Yeah.
That stops the coolant from passing through that. News to me. I didn't know about that. So I've been doing it for this whole time without realizing what it actually does. Anyway,
That's why your car's been overheated this whole time.
I now know. Well, not necessarily. It got a few little bubbles out. Nothing too spicy, but a few little bubbles. And when I was doing that, you'll probably know about this. You know, AC systems have a valve that opens up if it gets too pressurized.
Oh no, but I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. It's got a pressure valve or whatever it is. So if it goes over 450 psi, it lets off refrigerant gas, so it doesn't
that
burst
valve's
the
actually
lines.
just the line exploding.
Well, no, it came on and went off. But this is whilst I was bleeding the car because I'm like, I want to try and get some more oomph into the system and try and bleed a little bit quicker. So I turned the AC on. All of a sudden, refrigerant gas everywhere. Actually, probably shouldn't say that.
The car did it. You didn't intentionally.
I didn't
do it.
intentionally let it out.
You'd rather the valve open than it just explode.
No, it's illegal to dump AC gas refrigerant
Very
into
bad
the
for the
environment. It's very bad for the environment.
But it was.
Zachary did not. It's like if you had an accident though.
Yeah, I had an
So it's
accident.
not like
I
you
didn't know.
intended to
I
do
had
it.
the AC guy put this in my system and I pressurized it and it just came out this little valve. So anyway, it did that 3 times. Once whilst I was driving it, another 2 times while I was bleeding it up. And I was ready to is that bug going to kill us, by the way?
No, it's outside.
Oh, Jesus. There's some big bugs outside. But yeah, it did it twice and getting pressure out the system. And I'm like, well, there's my $150 gone for all the refrigerant gas. Took it out for a drive and the car stayed cool. And I came back and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I wonder if I can turn the AC on and see if it still works. The AC still works, which is good. It's still got refrigerant gas in there. But now when sort of I let it run and it got up to temp and it was sort of sitting in the driveway and it was going 81, 82, 83 and it should be coming back down to 80 when it gets to 82. It was going 85, 86. I'm like, okay, I'll take it out for a drive.
92.
I'll take it out. I'll take it for a
numbers.
drive and I'll get some airflow through the radiator and I'll see if it brings it down, which it didn't do beforehand, but now it does. And it actually drives better with AC now than it did before.
But you can't sit there and idle still.
I still can't sit there and idle, but I can.
RX-7, 1 second. Let me speak to Adam privately.
Yeah, go on.
We're finding the silver lining in the dumbest thing. I can't idle my car. A set of lights is fast. If we drag race, but I got to pick when we go, I would win. Just sit at the lights for a little
half
bit.
an hour.
Yeah. Watch him as my starlet keeps nice and cool. I'm not even speaking about taking out the Sylvia. I'll take Jai's bike. His electric bike. That's what's wrong with grip races.
I don't understand how your car will always just overheat when it's sitting there.
It's just a rotary.
Yeah, but
surely they didn't do that from
surely it's designed that there is some way that it can cool down.
So yeah, there is, and it's
Because that'd be pretty stupid.
It's going overboard with cooling. That's basically how. So from factory,
But they didn't
right?
come like that.
From factory, overheating.
Maybe put everything back to factory. Get rid of all the dumb shit you've
Factory
done.
was when it was overheating. When it was full factory.
Don't believe.
I don't believe
I
that.
reckon you should never bleeded it properly.
You've probably got old stuffed factory stuff in it. Put good condition factory stuff back in it.
So from factory. Okay.
He's trying to validate
From
it.
factory.
Here we go.
Right. The
I've upset
factory
the RX-7
ECU
owner.
okay doesn't actually turn the fans on until 98 degrees and it's supposed to be full duty cycle at 105. You can actually cook a rotary engine with older seals at 100. 100 is where the coolant seals start to fail.
being a bit picky. If they intended it from factory like that, they're fine.
Well, I know. Well, that's the thing. So I'm always really stressed when I get up to anywhere near 100.
Specs, mate.
Factory specs.
You're not even at operating temperature.
I know.
Maybe it's too cold and all your seals aren't warmed up.
I paused. I'm like, what is Adam about?
I'm kidding, by the way.
So yeah, so that's the other thing as well. Like overheating in an FD is 100 degrees, and I stress anything over 90, basically, because 90 is when you start
It's a driver error.
Well, that's the thing. It could be. I could just be a really anal person about my car. But I don't want it to even go into the 90s because I know that when I go into the 90s, that's when you have to start letting off the car and start trying to pull the temps back down. And if I start going, like, they creep up really quickly. So if I start seeing 91, 92, 93 in traffic, I start freaking out because I know that I need to get airflow through that car, which is why I will not take it to work.
I don't get it.
Aren't you just being a little bit picky?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is I'm very picky, but
Because this is, and we're not even counting in a hot day.
no.
We are yet to even discuss the idea of him driving it on a 40-degree day.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I've never actually had this car overheat before. I've never had it get too hot to the point where it's
going to
overheating.
our event at 4 a.m. to avoid the sun to take his He starts his shift at 11 and he's getting there at 4 a.m. to avoid the sun.
I'm avoiding traffic, not the sun.
He's avoiding the sun.
In the sun.
He's traffic and the sun, both of it. Lethal combination.
You said that. I would be okay driving my car in anything under 30 degrees as long as I could make sure that the traffic would not stop and I would be stopped for a period of a couple of minutes.
You're going to break down in the tunnel and I'm going to drive past in the Scarlet.
God damn it. I'm crying now.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
There is a chance that I may be too anal about this car.
Yeah.
Just a little.
I should just drive it, hey?
Yeah.
And
enjoy it.
And not care
Well, you
about the
said
temp.
you were going to engine swap
What's
it
a
if it pops
rotary?
anyway.
Yeah, you're like, I hope this engine blows up so I can K-swap it.
I'd love to K-swap it.
Well,
Because
that
then I
would be
wouldn't
cool.
care about
We'll
the
drive
car.
it.
Did you guys see the comment, once again on our TikTok fame? Someone comments like, pity he's swapping it. And I think, who are they referring? Jimmy Oakes or something?
No. So this is actually one of my followers on YouTube. So
all right.
yeah, he
Context.
watches my content and then he wanted to create some conversation because he knows that, you know, when you leave a comment and people comment, you know, obviously TikToks go better. So he went onto the thing and just went, oh, pity he's a case swapping it. And then a couple of people followed onto
Pity
that.
it's got an LS in it now.
Pity's got an LS in it now.
I'm pretty sure he's going to SR swap it.
Yeah.
So-
So all these comments, including him, he just wanted to try and provoke some fun, which is awesome. So keep
If
doing
any of
that.
our listeners want to just rile up people that aren't within,
Please
we'd
do.
love it.
We love it.
It's firstly very funny for us to read, and
It is pretty
secondly,
funny.
helps us get out there, you know?
Yeah.
It's the best. We have had multiple people reach out at this point, like, how can we support the podcast? That's how you can. Send it to your mate.
Engage with the content.
The other way you can support the podcast is by buying stickers.
Yeah, buy some stickers. That's all right.
We have the new circle ones on the shop.
Yeah, we do.
When are we going to get them?
When are they coming?
We're 2 weeks out filming this podcast. Have we got them
Did I
yet?
tell you the person that makes them? Because I do decals. I do vinyl decals. I do not do printed stickers.
That's crazy.
Shout
What's
out
the
Sticker
name of their
Socials.
business?
Shout out Sticker Socials. It does vinyl decals and not printed stickers because I don't have a $20,000 machine.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would.
Fair enough.
That'd be gangster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they messaged me because they do Keep It Reats ones as well. And they're like, are you getting this sent to Keep It Reat as well? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And I think that delayed our order. And it made me so sad because I wanted to be like, I put that address on purpose, but obviously she was being very polite and just making sure I didn't accidentally put the wrong address. So very much appreciate the customer service there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so excited.
I'm keen to see them. It's going to be good.
I want to put them on everything.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of us. Dave comes to doing a tour, checks out the Starlet, Washed Up Club sticker on it. Guess what? 2 lads haven't put their Washed Up stickers on yet.
He would have seen the back of my laptop when I gave him the peace sign.
Yeah. Oh, that's too good.
I can't wait to see that clip. It's going to be so awkward.
Well, we don't know. It might just all get cut.
I hope so.
It might,
I really
it might.
hope so. No, that's all right. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool. Washed Up Club sticker on the back of it. Oof, she's mint.
Fine.
Yeah.
Jeremy Clarkson's farm.
Oh,
You've wanted to speak about it. We both binge watched it.
Can we please just
Can
mutually
we try
agree?
to sell it to Adam?
All right.
You haven't seen either of these. You know what this is about at all.
I know what it's about, but I haven't watched any
It's
of
about a farm.
Believe it or not, it's
Believe
crazy.
it or not.
Wow.
Do you follow Jeremy Clarkson at all? Do you like his stuff or?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
I'm gonna commit a car guy crime. I only watched Top Gear like last year. I did not watch any. I could not stand it.
I mean, that's
they're
fair.
like this Roomba bloody 3000, and I'm like, shut. I don't know why they're Borat, but I'm just like, yeah, don't care. Like, I unless it was about a car I liked, but even then, it's like I just never consumed.
They're stock cars at the end of the day.
Yeah, like I want to see modified cars. I want to see cars doing really cool things. But then I was getting a haircut one day, and I don't know why. I just felt like I hadn't been watching shows, and the hairdresser guy was like, "Oh, I've been watching the Top Gear specials." And it just like too many things had lined up. Too many people had mentioned the specials to me that week.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm going to check them out. Binge watched them all. Maggie and I loved
How
it. Good fun.
perfect are the specials?
The new
They're
specials
amazing.
The new ones, like the Scandinavian flick.
Yes, yep.
Like, I don't care how much of that's staged or how much of it's not staged. It's a good vibe. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what is funny about old style Top Gear, like the bigger ones that they did? What do we just
The
call
specials?
it? The specials. That's a YouTube video these days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how crazy is that?
I hate
Like, that is what someone would do for a YouTube video.
Yep.
Well, I watched, firstly, the Misfits did it. Shout out, lads. They went to Tasmania, bought cars, and did a road trip in these cars that kept breaking. It was very frustrating for me to watch because they actually invited me to it. And I'm like, I just started a brand new job at a company. You're going to have to get me back on these dates, which I know they are really loose with. We'd go somewhere, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, we'll be like 2-3 days. 9 days later. You cannot have other commitments when you work with them. Just letting you guys know. And then I actually watch a channel called Gears and Gasoline.
Yes, I love them.
Purely
Yep.
for their like adventure series like that.
Yep,
And
I agree.
It's crazy to like. I would love to do it with you guys. Would love to do it with you guys.
I'd love to do
Go
it with
on
you too,
a
Brady.
big road trip.
Oh, is that what you were talking
Buy
about?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
What were you thinking, Adam?
Sounds good.
No, just like go on a road trip with minimal plans, an adventure. Have some money put aside for it because when things go wrong, we still need to get to work on Monday, or else we're not going to have jobs. Because
That's all right, because Sticker
we'll-
Social is a sponsor of this episode. We'll just fork out the money to help.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Shout out
Such
to
a good sponsor.
the thousands of people that have bought decals and stickers already.
If you haven't bought them,
You know, we only have a few hundred consistent viewers, but somehow thousands have bought them. I'm lying. They're very popular. Would recommend.
but yeah, no, like the Top Gear specials are freaking awesome. And it's like their older ones, they got loose. They were real loose. Did you see the one where they got like run out of a country by an angry mob?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That I will admit, personal favorite of the older ones.
Yep. Yep.
So have we all seen all the specials?
I like the Botswana
Oh.
one where they crossed the Makati, like the where they stripped out those cars. And
I can't remember.
so
Wait, is
so,
this where they drove on the water?
No.
Oh.
No. So this one here was Hammond had the Opel Kadett, like the little tiny car that he called I can't remember what he called
How
it.
do you have such good memory, but you leave your SIM
Cooler
SD
line.
card at
Oh,
work?
SD card. Yeah. No, this one here was like both Jeremy and May both had these heavy cars, and they like completely stripped them out to cross this desert.
Oh yeah.
And
I do
Hammond had
remember.
this little Opel Kadett. He called Oliver. That's the one. He still has that little Opel Kadett.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, that was I think my favorite was crossing. I think it was an
Zach
Africa
speaks to him
special or
about
something
it
like
all
that.
the time.
I speak to
Yeah, they were talking the other day.
Yeah, he's still got it. He watched it.
Did
the
you
other day.
watch all the other ones?
Yeah.
I get that vibe that you're
I've watched every
an
single
avid
one, yeah.
I can't
Top
remember
Gear guy.
which ones I've watched, and there's definitely ones I haven't watched.
of just the specials.
Yeah, of the specials.
Did you ever watch normal Top Gear?
Yeah. I never like followed an episode per episode. It was like because back in the day there was no streaming services. It
Yeah.
was just like, oh, that's on TV. I'll watch that.
Oh, The vibes, though.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I hate ads even more now because it just seems excessive. Shout out to people watching the ads. Get YouTube Premium or whatever premium app it is on the one you use. Or like, if you use it all day, every day. I have Spotify open like so much. It is so worth not having the ads. But anyway, like, how fire were ad breaks? Like, you're watching a movie and you need to go to the toilet.
Dude, you could shower in an ad break. 100%.
I could not shower in an ad break.
When I was 8, you could. Easy.
I would legit, like, you're like, okay, on the next ad, I'm going to chuck the popcorn in the microwave, go to the toilet. The popcorn will nearly be done. I'll be, like, leaning in, like, watching the show. Ah, memories.
It was good, actually.
Simpler time when driving manual was superior for four-wheel driving.
Yeah.
That's great.
Extract the full potential.
But somehow we got to talk, I suppose, Clarkson.
Clarkson's Farm is a very light-hearted sort of thing. Like Jeremy Clarkson, he's obviously been an automotive guy, and he, like, Clarkson's Farm kind of introduces that automotive. What the hell am I trying to say? Automotiveness sort of back into the farming thing, but sort of Jeremy's very blunt, crude style of humor, where it's kind of like he doesn't know what he's doing, but he thinks he's the best at it. So he kind of does something
like you at work, mate.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He goes out, he tries to do something, ends up screwing it up most of the time, gets yelled at by the other people, and then he moves on to the next task. But he's doing them all whilst learning at the same time. But it's also very wholesome. Yeah. Like, he gets the sheep, he falls in love with the sheep, he ends up having to kill 2 of them because 2 of them developed a disease or something like that, and he got really upset.
Spoilers.
Oh, I mean, just for Adam to try and make him want to watch it. We're trying to sell it to him, aren't we?
Well, I was gonna watch it,
Were you?
But now he got those spoilers.
Yeah, now I don't need it.
But no, it's just a very, like, it's crude humor,
So-
and then it's lighthearted and wholesome, and
It's not a huge plot of the story, but at the end of the first season, he makes like $108 total.
after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And then one thing that at the end of the second season, they don't disclose that number, and I want to know that number so much. I want it to be high. I don't care. But like the first year, it was purchasing a lot of gear he didn't have, and crops not growing properly, and him ruining crops. So you kind of expected a low number. But the second year, like, he nailed most of the crop related things, had endeavors with animals. So I want to know that number. And
be interesting, actually.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of money trying to put that restaurant up.
Yeah.
Restaurant up. So Adam doesn't hear.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I feel like
It's wholesome anyway.
It's an extremely wholesome
You'd love
thing.
it. He has a great vibe with his partner. I love seeing them. They bicker at each other.
Caleb is the
but they're
best.
such a good team.
Yeah, Caleb is the
not
best.
his partner. Caleb's his like.
Oh yeah. No, sorry, I thought you meant
actual-
farming partner.
Oh,
yeah, no.
That's
Lisa,
also really good.
Lisa, his partner is awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, it was very good. Big fan of it. Would recommend to anyone that
Yeah, that's good.
If you just, it's not exactly like, it's not mindless, but it
You're
is.
a hater.
It is kind of mindless, isn't it? You watch it and you kind of like you get no mental input from it, but it's kind of just like you're
I
just
enjoy
watching
all of it. I learned to
fun.
farm. I could basically farm.
Yeah,
now.
exactly right. You know what all the how
There's a
long
lot of
things have to do,
disgusting
and
things.
There is a lot of disgusting things.
The amount of times I saw someone's arm in a cow's ass, I'm like,
Yeah, I could have done less of
and
that.
I watched it while having dinner, which is always super
And
fun.
I still get chills from him trying to freaking slice those potatoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He cuts his hand open. I thought it was a joke.
No,
He's like
no,
using
no.
a potato, and he's like, I'm gonna hurt myself, and actually just does it, and you sort of,
He slices the end of his finger off.
we've
Anyway,
ruined it all. You've basically
sorry,
watched
mate.
it now.
We do apologize, but
I know you were gonna watch it. From
I don't even
this.
want to talk about it.
You're such a hater.
such a hater. He will watch it.
What do you
though.
want to speak about then?
I've got a story.
All right, let's go for it.
Driving home from work the other day.
Oh god, here we go.
Oh, he's gonna get angry.
Yeah, we'll get
No.
Angry Adam
No,
returns.
There
this
was
is
this
so
guy, didn't turn
stupid.
left at
No.
freaking intersection.
No. This person is really dumb. All right.
He's going to talk about me, isn't he? God damn it.
No, so was driving home. I went a back way home because for some reason the traffic was just stupid bad. So I went a back way home. And then coming out of a roundabout, there was this guy who was towing like a small trailer, like a 6x4 trailer, and it had like a frame on it so you could put stuff on the top, like a roof rack sort of thing.
Mm.
He had a full pack of timber on that. It was a Holden towing it, by the way. But the pack of timber was like 6 meters long. It was overhanging the roof of the car. And it was only like 30 centimeters away from the roof of the car. So if he had to like hit a bump or something the wrong way, that pack of timber was going straight into the roof of that car. It was like so close to just destroying the car. And also the trailer definitely didn't handle the weight. It was really bad. I was like, oh my God, this whole situation is coming around the roundabout. So this is going to fall over. I was like, surely that's going to just hit a bump and then just smash the roof, smash his rear window.
And you saw him just get away with it, didn't you?
Yeah, he just got away with it. It's really annoyed.
I actually really like that topic. So when I lived in my old house, there was this house down the street, and the guy had just always pulled apart cars on the lawn. Like, it looked like a workshop. Like, on his front nature strip, he had things stripped and stuff. And, like, I don't know if he was, like, a mechanic business, but it just became normal to drive past that. And it kind of, like, irked me because, like, I'm sitting there getting house inspections and stuff. And meanwhile, this guy's legit got a car yard out on the street. Anyway, one day I'm driving to get a Slurpee, hot day. And the guy's drives past me in the BMW I saw always out the front of his house with what looks to be an old fence pulled down, you know, when the wood gets that like greeny, like textured look, rolled up in a ball on the top of the BMW's roof. This was a soft top BMW with no roof rack, and he's just driving past me, and I really think it got to me because like the week before I got pulled over for driving manual on my auto license, and I'm just like, this guy's gonna get away with this though. Like the dumbest thing ever, and I've got to, like, I love it now. Whenever I see anything like that. The other day, Corey and I coming back home from drift school, some lady off her head in the middle of the street, skipping in the middle of the road.
I love that stuff.
And I'm just like, why didn't I film that? You know, when you're like so that you don't film, and you need to be able to share it. You need to let people know that was a funny experience you had.
I had a good one a few years ago driving down like the main road. It was late at night, so there was like no one on the road. There's this one car in front of me, clearly on their phone, like all over the road. Like I didn't even want to go past them because I was like, they're going to hit me because they're all over the road. And then there was this other car that was sitting behind them, and I was like, that's just a little bit weird. Like, why are they sitting that distance away? They were just sitting there making sure that they got footage of it. Police car turned the lights on. Undercover cop. And I was like, yes, finally, finally they're doing something that I didn't like on the road, and it got pulled up, and I was like, yes, because this person obviously they're like, nah, it's like the middle of the night. I just do whatever I want, but like not fun doing whatever they want, just stupid doing. Like they were across like 2 lanes, like swerving everywhere. I was like, what is going on?
No, it's not.
And then
fun.
the cop turned on the lights. I was like, oh, it made me feel so happy inside.
Have you seen the dash cams instant karma videos?
Yeah,
yes, my favorites.
Like all moments like that.
I love those videos.
I love people's reactions to them. Like Australians have the best reactions to dash cams. Like,
I literally would have had one of those.
Yeah.
If I had a dash cam, it probably would have been in one of those compilations. Because I
100%.
had the exact same reaction. It's like cheering.
Yeah, you just get
Because
like,
I had spent like 5 minutes just sitting back and behind them. Because I was
trying
like,
to be
I'm not
safe.
going next to this person because they're just going to swerve and hit me.
See, I have the other thought like, okay, get close to them, gas it past them. But that's when I get done, isn't it? You know,
Yeah, pretty
you
much,
get done for doing that. Meanwhile, you can't tell the cop that they were all over the road going like 40 in an 80 zone. You know, like you don't have any options. It's not fair. It needs to be done more. Shout out to that cop. It's probably Zachary's uncle.
I forgot about that one.
Have you had any moments?
I've had cop moments myself, but I've never
meant funny ones.
Yeah.
Not getting your dog confiscated.
Dog confiscated.
Digging up some national treasure.
I actually don't. I've seen some weird things on the road, but not on the spot. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Maybe I'll have to think about it and come back. I think. Maybe.
Has there been any point on when you're on the road that you've actually helped someone out, like properly helped them out?
I heard one the other day.
Yes.
We'll go positive because you could go the other way and gone.
Mine were all negative. God
My
damn it.
positive, yeah. I
Let's go
reported
positive.
someone to the police.
Let's go positive.
I offered someone the other. I've always, whenever I have tools in my car, if I see someone with a flat tire or something, if it is within my knowledge to stop and help them, I will try to. Most people say, "Oh no, thank you," and I realize what it is. So the other day when I bought Starlet 2.0, that smells like piss, and I've confiscated a lot of parts off of to make Starlit #1 work better.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Is that what you've called it now?
Yeah,
The
so
Starlit?
Starlit is the one I drive, silver,
Yeah.
and Starlet is the white one.
Stop.
Yeah, I get so I go to the servo to get fuel with the guys. I told you guys, and there was this lady there, and she's like, got a flat tire. I'm like, oh, that sucks. But I'm with this other guy. Like, I don't know, what am I gonna do? So he takes me back. I buy the Starlet, come back to that same servo to fill it up and check the tire pressure because it was like all over the road. And so I go there and I'm like, oh, do you want me to change your tire? I have like a jack in my car. She's like, oh, no, thank you. And I realize what it is I offer people that I have a jack in my car. Standard people all think they have a jack in their car.
Yeah.
I had a real jack in my car, a real rattle gun. It would have taken me 3 minutes, you know? And yeah, that's what I realized what it was. I'm super... I will go a mile. I did this one time. I'm on the freeway. I see this little old man. It was a 40-degree old day. He was sitting under a tree while his car hood up, smoke coming out and whatnot. And I'm like, I have to go help him because it reminded me of my granddad so much. Like my granddad just struggled in heat, and I'm sure all of our grandparents do. Anyway, so I double back down the freeway, and I'm like, yep, there he is. And I go back off the freeway, come back on. He's gone. And I'm like, what the?
Did you feel like offended? Yes. I was going to help you.
I was like, I had all of my tools in my car. The situation was perfect to help him out. Now he's probably going to go another 4 miles and break. Why did I say miles? 4 kilometers and break down. And I'm not going to be able to help him. And it really hurt.
So anyway, Brenny's aggressively driving down the highway right now trying to find this car.
I've had another time. I'm driving in my old area, the real dodgy area. I don't like it. And this little cart thing broke down trying to go up the ramp. And I saw it too late. So I'm like, you do a U-turn, come around the block. I come back and they're gone again. And I'm like, how does this keep happening to me? Old people just keep disappearing. They were stuck.
They're vanishing.
They were stuck.
Maybe this is something like ghostly going on with you, to be honest,
I see old people.
I see old people stuck and I want to go help them, but they're just never there.
That's if you guys could get on and purchase your Sticker Socials Washed Up Club decals, we can fund I See Old People, the horror movie. It's about old people disappearing.
I've had a few things where I've helped someone jumpstart their car at a servo, which is pretty common. The car just didn't start again.
True Australian.
I've tried to help. I recently just tried to help a woman who her tire was flat and she got everything out to change it but didn't change it. And I said, "Do you want a hand with that?" And she's like, "No, I have RACV down here. I have RACV coming."
Oh,
and I said,
"I didn't know."
Are you only just figuring that out? Oh my god!
RACQ sounds so dumb.
"Oh yeah, RACQ is Queensland." I remember that. Yeah, RACV down here. She's like, "I have RACV coming," and I was like, "Are you sure? It'll take me 3 minutes to change this thing." And she's like, "No, it's all right. Don't stress yourself." Anyway, I left from the servo, came back an hour and a half later. She was still sitting there, poor lady. But I didn't go help her because
you were spiteful.
She made up her mind at the time, right there. But
did you please? Okay, firstly, I would like to say people need to accept help more.
I agree.
People need to be kinder and accept help more.
Yeah.
I feel like we have become super antisocial with being able to Uber everything to us and not willing to just say, "Oh, you offered to do this. You obviously would be comfortable with doing it. I am not. Accept that help." But I also want people to be more dickheady, and you should have been able to drive past and gone, I would have had that done already.
Well, I kind of did without telling her. I'm sure she
RX-7.
yeah. I think the only other thing was I've just lost it from my mind completely.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. God damn it! I can't think of it whatsoever. Do you have anyone?
Yeah, I've been just thinking about some things that have happened. There was one driving to work. I was left really early because I was going to gym, and there was those like enclosed trucks. They're not like massive, but they got like so on the back there's the one big thing that folds down, and then it's like a lift, so it comes up and down.
I have no clue what I'm picturing right now. I'm sorry.
But you know what I mean. Zach.
Yeah.
So the
Small
back,
truck.
The back folds down and is a lift, so they can get stuff in.
Yeah.
Like removalist trucks kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how this happened, but old mate was driving down the road with that down.
I knew you were going to say that.
I was like, it was raining as well, and I was like, nah, I have to tell him. Like, you can't just let him drive.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a
for
mistake.
the other people.
Yeah, like it was an accident, obviously, and like rolled down the window, and you're trying to get their attention and stuff, and he pulled over and he sorted it. I pulled over and just in case there was something else wrong, but he just gave me the thumbs up. It was like pissing down rain.
You have reminded me so much of a story with my granddad. I feel like I've told you, but I'm not sure if it's on the potty or not. But I grew up in a pretty crappy area, and I remember one day my granddad was a sucker. He'd offer help, and he'd be like, "Your car's blowing smoke, love." Like someone like is actually going to take on that random person's advice. Anyway, group of, I don't know how to phrase it more than like bumping music, hands out the window, like no seatbelts on, like not people I would personally like be like, hey. And anyway, they had a bit of a flat tire. And so my granddad's like, your tire's flat. And they're like, what? What did you say? And like arcing up at him. I'm like melting in the chair. I'm in the passenger seat. He's yelling over me. I'm legit melting in the chair to like avoid this situation. I'm like, oh my God, my granddad's going to get me in a punch on. Like in the middle of this main road intersection. Anyway, so my granddad mumbled more than me. It was actually really funny. Like my friends would meet him and be like, what? What did he say? And then after like a few months of it, like they're just fluent in Poplish or whatever I would call it.
Yeah.
And so they finally heard him and they're like, oh, thanks. But they were so arced up before that. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, freaking out.
That's great.
There was another one which it's kind of funny. It's gonna be hard to explain it though. So there's a main road, and then right next to it there's like a little dividing strip and like a gravel area where there's houses. So that they would just like service road.
Is that their driveway, like the gravel bit?
Yeah, it's sort of like a service road to get to houses along next to it. But then up the other end is like a red rooster, and on the other side. So obviously you're not meant to be able to drive all the way through. They've blocked it off with like a little mound of dirt, but people had been riding bikes over and stuff, so it had been smoothed out a little bit. But it's still pretty significant.
Yeah.
Oh no!
So driving back from doing a mountain run with my mates, and we drove past, and I was like, "Are they beached on that?" And so we looped back around, and then we hopped out of the car, and we're like, "Oh man, this lady has like, I think she was an Uber driver."
Yeah.
And she dropped off food.
Oh my God, imagine if they were an Uber driver with a customer in the car.
I think she dropped off food, and she like had gone through the effort of her boyfriend to come down to help her, but he couldn't help her either. So like there was 4 of us, and we were it was like seesawing on it. It's like a little Mazda 2 or something. But it was fully beached on it, and even with 4 of us pushing it, we couldn't get it to move.
Wow.
So I didn't have my car at the time. I was at my mate's house. So we told them that
Well, your manual wouldn't have been able to do it anyway.
Yeah, my manual troop carrier, which I went back and got. It was so we'll be back in 20 minutes.
How'd you pull him out with a manual?
Oh, it's just
that's crazy. That must be so much skill.
I just can't. I don't know how I got it.
Gears?
I don't know how I got it there.
Did you have the reluctant gears, whatever they call it?
Reduction. So basically, like 20 minutes later, we come back with the troopy, hooked the winch onto the back of it, and I literally like picked the whole car up with the winch, because the troopy's high, obviously.
Yeah.
Picked the whole back of the car up with the winch and dragged it back over the top of this.
I really wish you rolled their car off. And then it rolled over, so I quickly left.
Oh,
that would be so good.
But
That's pretty
It was
good.
pretty funny because the whole, like, the two rear wheels were off the ground. Like, when it came off the hump, it was off the ground.
Yeah.
And it was just dangling in the air.
That's so funny.
But they were, like, going to call a tow truck and stuff. And I was like, oh, it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars to
Yeah.
just be towed back
Give
this
me
little bit.
$100.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't get asked for anything. Like, just drove off. But it was also, like, nearly midnight as well. So they were, like,
Yeah, right.
fully alone. And I don't think that they had RSAV or anything like that.
Some people like don't know the moves. You know, I feel like as car people, we all just like, okay, if this happens, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Whereas there are a lot of people on the road that don't know what to do if they're in an accident, and you don't get taught that at school, do
No,
you?
you don't. That would be a very good
Yeah,
life
you don't
thing to
tell
do.
you to
Yeah.
get insurance or why you need it or what it covers or what third party versus full comp, blah 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 blah. Hate school, if you could tell.
Yeah, exactly right.
I actually, if Zach didn't have one, I have your one
Zach
reminded
just
me of
doesn't
one.
help people.
What's that?
Zach,
I remember my one from before, actually.
All
I
right,
think, just
I'll
quickly.
let you go.
Yeah, I had a motorbike crash behind me, got
Ooh.
T-boned. He was lane filtering, and someone had left like a gap open for someone else to come into the traffic because it was like a through road, but it was in the city somewhere in Brisbane. And yeah, this motorbike was fanging it, got T-boned. Anyway, his knee wasn't the greatest. I could tell very quickly. So I helped there, and I called the ambulance. No, that was my thing.
Good guy.
Yeah.
I dig
That's
that.
an important job.
Yeah.
Calling the ambo.
I'll give you
Yeah.
points to that because I wouldn't really even know how to handle that.
Yeah, but I was also at the front of I can't believe like I was at the front of a red light and I was on a single lane road and it was pretty busy. I was waiting in that line for like 3 minutes maybe or something like that. This motorbike guy just like got fully knocked off this bike behind me. So I put the work van into park and I ran out to go see if this guy was okay because I had no clue what condition this guy was in. And the bloke behind me had the audacity to yell at me and tell me to move my van.
Yeah.
This dude is lying on the
Yeah.
ground and his knees all kinds of fucked up. And this guy's like, "Oh, can you move your fucking van?"
I
It's
do
like,
I do
bro.
hate that, like people that can't like use the force. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't check my mirrors.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
never had an ambulance sneak up on me. It's making I do really want to swear really bad. Flashing lights and the amount of people that don't notice that.
Yeah.
Like how much less attention are you paying than me considering I don't use my mirror?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Blows my
I
mind.
hate people like that. Yeah.
So Adam's story reminded me of one near one of the places I lived. One way you went was one way and one way was two way. And I remember I'm coming home. It's a late one night, dark area, not a lot of lights. Really weird because it was like a suburb area, but the street was just the darkest street ever. Anyway, I saw a car zooming down the two lanes, and I'm like, they don't know this goes to one lane. And where it goes to one lane is just a gutter. It's just a big gutter. Like, just jars out, no signage or anything, honestly. Like, it's the most dodgy situation ever. I could drive you guys past it. They haven't put anything up.
I would love that.
And I've got my friends in the car. I'm like, guys, watch this. We all lean forward. Over the gutter. Oh, it was the most satisfying thing to watch ever. I wish I had a dash cam. I would be... I'm getting a dash cam. This episode has made me decide I'm getting a dash cam because I think it'd be fun to share with you guys the amount
Yeah,
of
it
trash
would be
I
good.
see.
It would be good. There was a guy on the way back from work at the start of this week that I didn't help out because I couldn't.
Oh, here we go.
And I really wanted to, but I was like in a predicament. So basically, the set of lights just near work that coming back this way, the very first set of lights you get to. I was in the turning lane on the right. It was very busy. And this guy had pulled up with his work trailer on and his brakes were locked on. Like they were smoking off the trailer. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like
He's
it was
left
pretty
the
hot
thingy
as
on.
well.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't know when you're towing that that's happening, but you can set your whole trailer on fire and stuff. It was like smoke was pouring out of it.
Yeah.
But I was like 4 cars back and 3 lanes over from him. And I was like, oh, fuck. I really want to can I get out of the car at the red light and run up and tell him that he needs to sort that out? And I was like, I can't really do it because it had already been a little bit of time had gone by. And I was like, oh, I don't know because I'm literally in the middle of all these cars. But no one put their windows down. Like it was pouring out of it. And he obviously just hadn't looked in his mirror. but no one
You
told
drove
him.
off like that?
Yeah. Drove off and they were like smoking heaps. There was like black line. Well,
then on
there
the
wasn't
news later that
skidding
night.
the whole time. And I was like, "Are you serious? Like, I'm so far back and away from this car, and I can see it clearly."
Yeah.
And I was debating about getting out
See,
and
I
peak
think
hour
you were-
traffic to run across the
I
lanes
think
to
you're
help
far
him.
enough that it would be a problem for you to do so. Because like if you're right beside them, you know, you can shout
It
out.
would
or
take
even
me a
behind them.
good 10 seconds to run over there and run back to my car.
Because that's illegal. Like,
yeah.
so-
Like 10 seconds to run there and to run back. You have to go in between all the cars.
God
and
forbid
stuff.
you use your horn as well.
Yeah,
That's
you
illegal.
don't want to do that. That's
No.
illegal as well.
But like, I've seen a grass fire be set off by someone's trailer brakes being locked on because they did that and they pulled over.
That's
and
believable.
Then it like lit all the grass up because it was like on fire.
I've had I have gone through 6 rear calipers on my S13. I think it's because I do the motorcanas and I'll whip the car into a corner, but I'll also be handbraking and dabbing foot brake to like pull it where I want. And I think they both use the handbrake in a S13 uses the same mechanism, so you got both forces trying to punch on with it. Anyway, I've had numerous caliper problems, which is really weird because all my other mates with S13s haven't. Anyway, one day, late night, I'm like, hey, I stayed at a mate's house way too late. You know, we're just bumming around, kind of like every Wednesday.
Like,
when we
Every
do the
Wednesday
podcast.
like right now.
Yeah, and you're driving home and you're just exhausted. And I stop at these lights and I'm like, fuck, something's on fire. Not thinking my car. And I look back and I'm like, oh my God, my wheel's on fire. And I hop out and my one caliper has seized on and it's glowing red. And I'm just there like, I don't know what to do. So I drove home.
Yep, that always works.
I pulled it off and on a lot, like tried to like jiggle it loose. Like I knew pressing the foot brake would try to do things. Got home. It seemingly was fine. What had happened is they have a handbrake thing, and I must have pulled my handbrake up at his house too hard, and it like jumped a tooth, so it was locked on.
I know those handbrake setups too, and they're fucked. Yeah.
So I fixed it back with a screwdriver. I'm like, oh yeah, she'll be right now. Like I clicked it back, the brakes were working perfectly, bled them and whatnot because it was seeping as well. Anyway, I thought that would be the end of the problem. Next day, I'm like at Maggie's house, walk out to my car, puddle of brake oil from that wheel. I'm like, yeah, brake fluid. Makes sense. And so there goes another caliper on that car. Pain in my ass.
Can I just say, I've had a little bit of time to think about that story I just told. And I'm so pissed off that no one let this guy know.
Yeah.
Like,
And it was upsetting
people
me.
help. It's so easy. Put it down your window and go, hey, mate, your trailer brakes are locked
Even
on.
if you didn't know.
Yeah,
either.
your trailer's smoking.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to... He
I
could have been
told
a
you.
worker or something just towing his boss's trailer and it just set up wrong or something.
People need to be nicer.
just
and
help
also
people
rude.
out. It's not hard. Especially something like that. Like, you don't have to do it. You just go, just let you know, your trailer's smoking. Window up. It's easy.
It's the least Australian thing to do is that, and also not waving when someone gives you way. Like if someone lets you in or something, and
That
Oh,
should
yeah,
be
yeah,
a that should be a jailable
you
offense.
should be
Yeah.
able to get pulled over from.
I love it. I like let somebody in, I'm like watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they going to wave or are they not? And that determines whether or not I'm going to sit really fucking close to them or not.
Yeah. I'll wave at people I don't think are even letting me in, because like realistically, like I'm like, that's
Brony just goes on the road. People come in the opposite direction. Yep.
oh, I love doing that. It's so funny. People, you see them like. you get a glimpse of and then you know they're driving like another 100 meters like, did I know them? You know, oh, so good.
I
Love
also
it.
just wanted to say I feel really bad because there's one instance. I didn't realize the Subi wave is an actual thing. You know, have you heard
the
about it
Subi
before?
wave,
The
yeah.
Subi wave?
Yeah.
You've seen it before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because you used to be a Subi boy.
Before
Yeah.
you say this,
Yeah.
There's
Can
a
I
troop carrier wave.
prefix it with when I drive Maggie's car a lot, you know.
Yeah.
We'll go out, she'll want to go out, and then maybe I drive it home, you know. We share cars. She's not allowed to drive this hill. No. Just joking.
Anymore.
Anyway, we every time I see a Sylvia, biggest Subi, the biggest wave, I'm like, yeah, like G'ing them up. None of them Literally none of them have. I have never been waved back. You know how much Maggie gets hit on when she drives my car? Because it's a girl in a clapped out silver and they're like, that's sick. But for some reason, Subaru drivers hate each other. And that's why I really feel like you're about to tell me that they all wave at each other.
They do.
Yeah,
The
I
Subi
had-
wave is a real thing.
Yeah, Subaru.
Do I have to
always
do it?
wave
Am I
me.
doing it wrong?
No. So I mainly do it. I don't really do it
Is
through
this
the
the-
city.
Is that the wave?
For anyone that's not watching that, it was
Explain
very,
what I just
very
Explain in
inappropriate.
detail.
Explain in detail. What
Okay,
You'll never know.
Brenny was shaking some
I
salt
was
onto
playing
his tongue.
I was playing my violin.
He was playing the violin. He
Yeah.
was. Anyway, it's usually not in the city because, people can just drive WRXs as daily cars. But especially when you get up into the mountains, like anything sort of north of where I live and south of where Adam is,
High country.
high country basically. The 100% every single Subaru will like lift a finger or do something like that. But in Queensland, the first time I ever went for a mountain drive, there was a BRZ, the exact same color as mine, and mine was completely stock at this point. I was just
I've
cruising
never
through the
seen one
mountains.
the same color as yours.
Yeah, no, never. It's like so unique. It's
Nice
crazy.
and blue.
But
Yeah,
he
rare.
gave me a wave, and I full on laughed because I'm like, wow, it's a real thing. But I laughed so much that I forgot to wave back.
He probably thought you were laughing at him, and
Yeah.
you begun
Well, that-
the res.
So for the person that did wave at me and got laughed back at, I do apologize.
I hope he
It's my-
noticed you. Oh my god, that's like Baldy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Stuff
I just laughed this guy off completely. But now I do actually wave. There's like a brand new blue BRZ, extremely unique as well. RPF ones,
I don't
crazy.
know how you notice them all.
Exactly right.
It's so
It's
rare
crazy.
to come by.
Exactly right.
I
But, yeah, no, he was like just down the road from like where I was, and he lives near me, and I give him a wave every now and then, and he's
There's
a nice guy. So
literally one around the corner from my house. A
Literally.
Subi. It's like a newer WRX. It's got awesome fitment. Like it's a pretty gangster car. Like I'm not actually a huge Subi guy. I actually like Evos more.
we can appreciate
Don't
nice,
want to
nice
bring that
Subis.
up. Anyway, I have literally drove past him and gave him the Subi wave. Didn't get noticed. Literally drove past him in the Sylvia. Got waved at. I have done a controlled crowd
I
test.
feel like there's a Jap wave. I feel like there's a Japanese car wave. Probably
There's-
shouldn't say
Oh.
Jap wave, should I?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no.
no.
Because we can get demonetized for that, can't we, or something
yeah,
like that? I don't
no.
know, probably. Who knows? But, yeah.
There's a troop carrier wave. So there's a Troop Carriers of Australia is what it's called.
Yeah.
It's literally a Facebook group that if you own a troop carrier, you're in this group. It's
Yeah,
just
right.
how it is. But it's like one of the few Facebook groups that is actually useful.
Yeah, okay.
And people will actually
Yep.
help you out. But like without a doubt, every single troop carrier that I pass, wave
Yeah, right.
all the time because
That's
they're
crazy.
a unique car. Like
Yeah.
not a normal person owns a troop carrier. Like you own it for a reason.
Yeah.
But like when I'm out in the more country sort of areas, they get full on into it. Like I've had people like hanging like full body out the window, because you haven't seen anyone for
Yeah.
a long
What are
time,
the odds?
and then they got a
Yeah.
trip car and they're just like out the window. Like, fuck yeah. It's so funny.
That's
It was
awesome.
probably one of the best things about owning a troop carrier.
Yeah,
was
right.
That and the community of
And that it was manual
yeah.
and superior.
'cause
Christ,
it's
skill,
so much
manly.
My car's manly. It just sounds weird, yeah.
Oh, grow up. Grow up.
That's great. Do they have a Starlet wave, do they?
I surprisingly the Starlet gets more attention than Maggie's car. The amount,
hilarious.
it is so funny. Like the other day on the way to work, I stop at the lights. I'm like, oh, another Starlet. Because I notice them, but I assume that a lot of the people driving them don't even care.
Yeah.
He's like waving out at me. At an event the other day, some guy drives past it. I'm like, oh, I kind of expected him to notice it. He just didn't see it. On the way back out, he's like, no, is that your Starlet, bro? That's sick. I legit, yeah, it's so funny. The Starlets are a vibe. I feel like it's
They are
like
a
its
vibe.
own thing.
It is something that I miss it because I have an imported car that not many people have. I don't see other people having it.
Yeah.
And I'm
The
just
day
by
you
myself.
the day you do, though, that person's going to be so G'd up.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think you have a thing with the Japanese car one because
Yeah.
the amount of times I've rolled up at lights like R32 and I'm like, guy's got a half cage in his car. It's some ratchet shit there. And he's like, it's just a different breed. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Did you get it much with the Ford?
Not really much because a lot of Ford guys are like, I don't know.
Tosses.
No, let's not say that. Well, no, it's interesting. Like a lot of people respected the car for what it was, and people said that it had like usually it was like middle-aged women that said, "Oh, that's a nice color," because it was turquoise at the time. So it was like, yeah, but many Ford people, we don't really wave at each other.
You just look at your Club FG back.
Yeah.
Sticker.
You kind of just roll up beside them, you give them a dose, and it's like thumbs up out the window, and that's pretty much it. You go on about your day. But people coming towards you, it's like all Ford drivers try and act like gangsters. Like they drive like Dom Toretto.
Yeah.
They sit back like this, and they're like cruising in their big, lowered fucking Falcon on
Land
Simmons, 20-inch Simmons with like triple SL rears, double SL fronts. Everyone knows about those springs.
I will say, I
just driving like this, just not caring.
do love a G6.
G6E?
Yeah.
Oof, yeah.
It made me actually. Your Ford story reminded me. Do you guys feel like you have a dickhead sensor? Is what I'd like to call it.
Yeah,
judge
mine's
people?
going
Yeah,
off.
It's ringing every time. No, so like I will see a car with Maggie, and I like, for example, one time there was this K70. I was actually with one of the Misfit lads, and I'm like, he's looking at my Sylvia. He's about to do something dumb in the middle of the road, full sideways. I'm like I feel like, and like I have just this, dickhead. You have to be a dickhead to have this sensor.
Yeah. You can tell it by their car.
Like
surely.
One time, and it stresses me out when people have kids in the car, but I see this like that typical blue like XR6 come onto the freeway, and I'm like, there's like drag slicks on it, but I see a little kid thing in the back. I roll up beside him, give him a doo-doo-doo, and then he's like, just down the road, huge as
a
power
lot of
skid.
Falcon guys have some big horsepower, like because they've upgraded from the Japanese car, and their wife or girlfriend tells them they need a family car, so they go with a big 5-seater Four-door sedan, which is like a taxi, and you find you can make crazy power with them, so they make a good family car. A lot of Falcon guys have kids. A lot of them do.
Do you find that like I see them as big yacht? I've never drifted one. I've never really driven one more than like the crappy one I had. But like, is it a car that puts down power well?
No. Well, you look at it in a way like that depends on the setup, like the tires and everything else. But I was like 600 horsepower with shit $100 tires. But yeah, they can put the power down well. But at the end of the day, they are a 1.8 ton car. They're a big, heavy thing, and they'll just haul ass. They have so much torque, you don't feel the weight. You can definitely feel the weight in the corners, though. That's the biggest thing. So yeah, it's a big, heavy car, but I much prefer driving Japanese cars.
Impractical race cars. When the podcast goes huge.
Yeah.
Impractical race cars.
Now, I'd love to do the budget enduro series with like an AU or something like that. I feel like it'd be fun.
He's really trying to get us into this.
I really want to.
We'll have to speak about it after the podcast.
I think we will. Yep. Without a doubt. Are we calling it there?
Yeah, I think we should wrap this one up.
I reckon so.
Thank you for listening to everyone who is still listening. We appreciate you all.
Sorry that Adam gets angry.
What?
And that I talk way too much.
And once again, WashedUpClub stickers are available on stickersocials.com.
Yep.
And you can also go grab some of your own. If you have your own little Instagram thingy, you want to put it on your car or your bike or your laptop or anything, jump on there. It's an interactive website. You can see your thing before you get it. It's pretty cool.
Jump on our TikTok, piss some people off.
Please do.
Share
Comment some dumb stuff. It'll be funny.
Rate us 5 stars on Uber.
5 stars on Uber, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.